Hi friends, how are you going? Are you having a good day? Tell me. Today's tutorial is probably the most requested tutorial I've ever had besides my winged eyeliner video, and that is just a super basic AF eyeshadow video. I totally get it because it's taken me ages to get to a point where I feel I'm comfortable with how I do my eyeshadow. It took years of awful blending and misplaced colors and things like that. So I totally understand the want for a tutorial specifically on that. Obviously this has come out as quite a dramatic neutral look, but I do give you the option to stop at multiple points to show you how it would look with a much more subtle look. I just built it up so we could see how far we could take it if you did want something more dramatic and maybe appropriate for like nighttime and things like that. Also, the wing and false lashes are totally optional. You can just wear mascara with this. You could just wear mascara and a small wing. It's totally customizable to how you would like it. Also, this eye look is super versatile and can be worn with pretty much any lip color. I went for a vampy lip because of who I am as a person, but feel free to put it in a nude or a bright color or whatever you'd like, really. I'm gonna stop blabbing now because I blabbed through this whole tutorial, but I hope you enjoy and make sure to subscribe if you do. I'm gonna pop a green concealer on this situation. My favorite one to use is the LA Girl Pro Concealer, by the way. I also tend to bring this around my nose because women tend to get hormonal redness around that area, which is just one of the many perks of being a female. And then I'm going to go straight over the top of that with foundation. This is my CoverGirl Outlast 3-in-1, which is my fave. I'm using a flat top brush to press this into the skin as that's going to give me the most coverage, and I'm trying to cover up all of this green. I'm then just going in for my eyebrows as per usual. This is the Dip Brow Powder in Granite from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm then just going to tidy this up with Boing from Benefit. And as always, I'm setting this down with Gimme Brow from Benefit as well. It's just so good. Just browsing, don't mind me. So if you want your eye makeup to stay on for a while, you're obviously gonna want to prime. This is Air Patrol from Benefit, and I'm just gonna pat that in. Oh, I'm gonna use too big of a brush and get it in my eyebrows. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm the worst. Then what you're always going to want to do is set with a transition color. This is going to be a color that is the same as your skin tone. So look around for one that matches your undertones and shade correctly. Mine is Beaches and Cream from Makeup Geek, as you all probably know. Putting this down is basically going to mattify the lid and make sure that any colors you put in the crease or anything from here on out aren't going to stick to your tacky foundation. So for today's look, I'm going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. One, because it's bloody gorgeous, and second, because it has a really nice combination of simple neutral colors. The first thing I'm going to do is take Raw Sienna, which is this light brown color, on a big fluffy brush. When doing a smoky eye, you want to start with bigger brushes and work smaller as you go from lighter to darker colors, because you're going to want the darker colors to be more precise. So since this is our lightest neutral tone, you can use quite a big brush and run this through your eye socket. How high you take this shadow is going to depend on your face and eye shape. I don't like to bring this too high, but I do have hooded lids, so I need to make sure it's going to be visible with my eyes open. I am going to put winged eyeliner on, so I am mimicking the shape of that eyeliner with my eyeshadow to make it a little more flattering, but if you're just going in with mascara, feel free to sort of round out the outer edge instead. Shape is sort of trial and error though. You're going to learn what looks good on you and what doesn't with practice. Oh, I love this palette so much. Give it to me. And pretty much every step of the way, I'm going to go in with my original brush that has my transition color on it and run that along the seam of my eyeshadow to make sure this is as blended as I can possibly get it. I don't always show this step in my tutorials because I literally do it after every color, but it's good to do. The next color I'm going to use is Burnt Orange, which is just slightly darker and more warm in tone than our original color. Again, I'm using a slightly smaller brush. This is the Light Splendor from Holy Grail, and I'm going to pop that right where I put that one, but a little bit lower, if that makes sense. We're trying to get a gradient, so I'm not taking it quite as high as I took my original shade. I like to swirl my brush in the outer corner and then do windshield wiper motions, as every beauty guru says, through my crease. If you're not confident in your if you're not confident in your blending skills, a tip I would give you is to use lots and lots of different colors. So instead of going like a light brown, a medium tone brown, and a dark brown, use like a light one, slightly darker, slightly darker, slightly darker, and build it up, because it's going to be much easier to blend that way, if that makes sense. Also, I'd like to point out that at any point in my eyeshadow steps here, you can totally stop. You could just put that one color through your crease. You could just do this one here, or you could continue on, but pretty much at any point you can stop here. Don't feel like you have to follow this through, fam. It's okay. Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Since the Modern Renaissance palette doesn't have like a smack bang mid-tone brown, I'm just gonna dip into my Makeup Geek palette. This is Cabin Fever from the fall eyeshadow range, So whenever I start working with slightly darker colors, I place my brush down in my outer corner first and then blend inwards. Again, this is slightly lower than our last color because we're trying to create a gradient, and I'm trying to be careful not to get this on my lid too much. Again, it's a little bit difficult because I have hooded eyes and not a lot of lid space, but we make do. If you're having trouble blending darker colors, take the brush used with the lighter color earlier and just run that along to make sure it blends, and then again in with your transition color. When it comes to defining colors like dark browns and blacks and things like that, I like to first place the color down with a pencil brush and then use a fluffy brush to blend it to make sure it's not going too far and it doesn't look like I've been punched directly in the eye socket. I'm taking Cypress Umber from the Modern Renaissance palette again, and I'm placing this right at my outer corner. So do you see how I've just got sort of a little patch right in my outer corner here, and then I'm going to blend that in. I'm actually going to use the same brush I had Cabin Fever on because I know that it's got some residual shadow and it's going to help me blend. And I am just going back and forth over this area until it's diffused, and I'm taking it slightly into the crease, but definitely not all the way because we're trying to create shadow in the outer corner only. Another blending tip is to not jab the brush against your face, but use the lightest touch because that's going to blend it a lot easier and not pack too much pigment down. The trick is with blending as well, once you think you're done blending, blend some more. You're probably not done. So for an everyday look, this is fairly dramatic, but I am going to go in with black just to show you how I place my black down. But again, all of these steps are optional. You don't have to do a black. There isn't one in the Modern Renaissance palette, so I'm taking Corrupt from Makeup Geek, and I'm placing this just slightly more precisely than Cypress Umber. So normally I put a shimmery color down on the lid. Vermeer from the Modern Renaissance palette is just my favorite, and I really want to put it on, but I'm trying to keep this super basic. So I'm just taking Beaches and Cream, which was our transition color. I'm going to pat that all over the lid. And then I'm just going to blend that in so it's not a harsh line. So I am now going to tightline. This is going to make the look a little bit more seamless, so you're not going to see like the fleshy color of your tightline. So now I'm just going to pop on a wing. I have a full tutorial on how to do that, which I will link below so you can watch that more in depth, and we'll come back and do the rest of the face. Wings happened, messed this one up. It happens, you know how it is. To highlight and conceal basically my whole face area, I am using Born This Way from Too Faced, and I use the shade Fair. This stuff is just so good. Also, I love the smell of coconuts, like, oh, yeah. Also, if you've gone a little bit cray with your eyeshadow shade, this is a great time to clean it up. Now that I look blindingly white, I'm going to set this with a loose translucent powder. I'm just using this over my whole face because I am lazy and don't want to get another powder. Whoa, that was too much. Didn't plan on baking, but here we are. So now that I've concealed and set the under eye, we can finish off the eye look. I like to do the concealer first because then you're not going to mess up any of your eyeshadow by trying to go around it, and you're obviously going to want to set it for the same reason that we set the lid, so you're not going to get any sticking. So I've mixed raw sienna and burnt orange on this tiny little brush, and I'm going to blend that under the eye. This is another one where your face and eye shape are going to determine how low you bring this. But again, it's something you'll get used to as you go. So I've then got this tiny little pencil brush. This is in fact called the pencil brush from Holy Grail Cosmetics. And I'm taking Cypress Umber, which is that really dark brown, and I'm gonna press that against my lash line. I'm literally gonna massage this into where my lashes are growing. I like to start light with this and build up because again, you can add more but not take it away. And then just taking the lighter browns and running that along the edge of my shadow to make sure it's blended. I am using a light brown eyeliner today. This is Glitter Rock from Urban Decay, but feel free to use a nude, again a black, a dark brown, no eyeliner, but this is just what I like to use to tie it all in without being too obvious. Right, so again, this might be enough for you. You might have put on a smaller wing and feel that mascara is good for you, or maybe you like wings this big with mascara. I'm not judging. I, however, prefer to put false lashes on because I'm just extra all the time. I'm just pressing these so they sit upright because they're not very long and I want to get the most length out of them I can. No matter how dramatic I get with my crease, I always like to put a lighter color in my inner corner because it's going to draw attention to my eyes and open them up, and I just think it balances out the look a little bit better. You can go matte or shimmery. Today I'm going a little bit shimmery. This is the shade Vermeer from the Modern Renaissance palette. I should mention where it's from. This lipstick ended up being really patchy, which is sad. But regardless, the tutorial is about the eyes anyway, so I hope you enjoyed it. I do hope it was helpful and that you learned something. Obviously, I am no expert, but it's just some tips that I thought would be helpful. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to like and subscribe and leave any requests for videos you'd like to see below because I'd love to hear from you. I actually would. I don't know why that sounded sarcastic. I swear I would. I hope you're all having a beautiful day and I'll talk to you very soon.